10 goalkeepers that could replace David De Gea at Manchester United. Welcome back to the Premier League review. On today's show, we're going to be looking at goalkeepers. Manchester United dropping more points at the weekend with a pretty poor display against West Ham United, but the goal came for West Ham after another David De Gea blunder. Today, we're going to talk tactically why it's such a problem for Manchester United, and then we're going to find 10 replacements around Europe. It's not too difficult, so let's dive straight in. First up, David De Gea, of course, Manchester United's servant for a number of years now, but quite frankly, it's time to even let him go on a free transfer. I probably wouldn't sign a new contract with David De Gea, given his decline in recent months, but also the biggest thing, the philosophy of Manchester United has moved on, and it's meant United need a ball-playing goalkeeper so they can play out from the back. So let's take a look from a tactical perspective, why Manchester United need a ball-playing goalkeeper. It's reasonably simple in a sense. The ability to play out from those back areas is so important to building your team up, to progressing the play, to breaking the lines, to dominating games of football. I think the big problem with Manchester United with David De Gea at the moment, if you come up against an opposition pressing with two strikers, United really need the goalkeeper to join in simply to create a 3v2. It's that simple. It's building up from the back, it's playing through the lines, it's taking the opposition's forwards out of the game with good possession play. Manchester United currently can't do that with David De Gea in between the sticks, which is a massive problem for Erik Ten Hag's side. If United could have a keeper that can play with the ball at his feet, not only would they concede fewer goals, but they would also score more goals because the possession would be a lot better. It hurts United in their build-up, and it's a massive issue. United have had to change their style and strategy under Erik Ten Hag, away from kind of his Ajax side by David De Gea going long at times because of the opposition pressing a little bit, such as Newcastle United, such as Liverpool, such as Manchester City. Any team that has a half-decent press, Brentford, Brighton, all these examples. The issue, David De Gea can't play out from the back. The second reason why Man United need to get a new goalkeeper, it's stopping crosses. David De Gea ranks in the bottom 9% of goalkeepers in Europe's top 5 leagues for stopping crosses. Why is this a problem? Well, Manchester United are far too passive when the opponent has the ball in the wide areas, which sees the opposition getting crosses into the box. United don't really have, aerial dominance in that area. Obviously, Martinez's height isn't really an issue. He's got the aggression. But if you had a good keeper that could come off his line and simply catch the cross, you kill the move at source. David De Gea has just claimed 3.3% of the crosses put into his box this season. Simply not good enough. So let's move on to the next reason why Manchester United need to upgrade David De Gea. It's simply because he doesn't come off his line enough and sweep in behind the defence. If United want to have a fully functioning press, the defence is going to have to play on the halfway line. United are going to have to be super aggressive man-to-man in certain situations. But any balls that are played in behind the defence, David De Gea should be the one sweeping up in behind, and it's something that he doesn't do, where frequently teams will find those passes in behind the defence, cause massive issues for the defenders recovering and dropping back. In terms of those statistics, David De Gea is in the bottom 42% of goalkeepers across Europe for defensive actions outside of his box in the last 365 days, and it hurts United because it means their press is less effective because the backline has to drop a little bit, giving more space in midfield for the opposition to play through. Another problem. And let's move on to the actual thing goalkeepers are supposed to do, and that is shot stopping. David De Gea has been a keeper of great quality. There was the season under Jose Mourinho where United came second, where David De Gea massively outperformed the expected goals or the post-shot models and basically had the best ever season. But we've got to look at this season right now. David De Gea's save percentage over the last 365 days is 70.8. That puts him in the 42nd percentile. Again, that is the bottom half of goalkeepers in Europe's top 5 leagues. So he can't save, he can't play out from the back, he can't sweep off the line. There is too many problems with David De Gea. And if we look at some of the performances this season, that massively cost Manchester United, I think one of the most embarrassing games of the season for Man United fans, the 7-0 win for Liverpool. David De Gea made a single save in the game. One save on a P-roller from Harvey Elliott. He's had 6 games in all competitions this season where he's made at least one save, and his save percentage has been less than 50%. United haven't won any of those games. In the 10 years David De Gea has been at the club, he's had 3 seasons with a save percentage greater than 75%. Comparing that to Alisson, he's had 4 of his last 6 seasons where his save percentage has been above 75%. But we talk about the errors, the mistakes that have really crept into his game in recent weeks. Of course, the game against West Ham United, basically bundling Benrahma's shot into his box, but you're thinking Sevilla away from home. You had the pass into Maguire's feet that was just simply not good enough. The wrong decision for a goalkeeper. Yes, Maguire bottled it, lost the ball in that area, but David De Gea shouldn't be playing that pass. You had him sweeping off the line as well, not being able to control the ball. 3-0 Sevilla, game, set, match. You've got the game against Brentford from really early on in the season that kind of kick-started the Erik Ten Hag reign, where David De Gea did exactly the same thing, played the ball into the feet of Christian Eriksen, got robbed by Norgard, 1-0 Brentford. You then also had, a similar incident against Wolves a few years ago. There has been big problems, and the biggest stat, that's the most concerning stat, there's been 4 errors that David De Gea has made that has led 2 goals in all competitions, which is the worst record of any Premier League goalkeeper, and it is simply time to move on from David De Gea. So why is it so important to replace a goalkeeper to suit a manager's style? The big thing is the implementation of that style, the ball playing, the ability on the ball from keepers. As we've seen so many examples in the Premier League. Aaron Ramsdale, our first example. Since Aaron Ramsdale's arrival at Arsenal, only Manchester City have picked up more points than the Gunners in the Premier League. A title challenge has come from Arsenal sorting out their goalkeeper. But moving to other teams that play great possession football in the Premier League, you can look no further than Brighton. Of course, have massively excelled this season, and they've actually switched their goalkeepers. At the start of the season, Robert Sanchez was number 1, but Jason Steele has come into the fray in recent weeks, and the points per game have gone up. Brighton have won 17 out of a potential 27 points with Jason Steele in goal, and their points per game has gone up from 1.89 to 1.47. And if you want a simple, easy explanation of why you need a goalkeeper, look no further than Manchester City and Ederson. Manchester City, since signing Ederson, have won 4 out of the 5 Premier Leagues available to them since they brought him in 2017. The big thing there, in terms of goalkeeper, Ederson this season has been really poor as a shot stopper. Amongst starting goalkeepers in the Premier League this season, only Southampton's Bazunu and Leeds United's Meslier has got a worse post-shot expected goals. But the big thing with Ederson is his ability on the ball is absolutely ridiculous. So even if his shot stopping is not up to point, Ederson is great with the ball at his feet. Assists, key passes, breaking the opposition's press. It's simple. United need to sign a goalkeeper to adjust to Erik Ten Hag's style. So, 10 goalkeepers that are very gettable for Manchester United in the summer to sign. Let's start in no particular order with David Raya. David Raya has been one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League this season. He's probably the best option for United to sign, but as well with Manchester United, they probably should sign him on a free transfer next summer. His contract is expiring in 2024. United apparently don't have much money at the moment, so signing on a free transfer next summer would make a lot of sense. His shot stopping, cross prevention, sweeper actions, one of the best ball keeping players in the league, but also in terms of his distribution, absolutely fantastic. The performance against Brighton in the Premier League was one of the best of the season. He made a whopping 7 saves, 2 high claims, and swept off the line once, completing passes as well to get Brentford on the counter-attack. He's got a great ball in his locker to Tony. Time and time again, Brentford will make yards up the pitch. David Raya is a massive upgrade on David De Gea in terms of that goalkeeping. Moving on to the next Premier League goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. His housery won Argentina the World Cup. The big thing with Emi Martinez is he's got the personality to play at a big club. Played for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal as a ball-playing keeper in that side. Did reasonably well. I think there's still room for improvement. With Emi Martinez with the ball at his feet. But what he is a very, very good shot stopper. Would instantly improve United in that category. As we mentioned, David De Gea is in the bottom half of goalkeepers for his save percentage this season. Emi Martinez is a keeper that come in and instantly improve that. Moving on to the more exciting continental options. First up, Diogo Costa at Porto. A young goalkeeper with massive amounts of potential. Only 23 years old at the moment. Basically a child in goalkeeping terms. Keepers usually peak around 31, 32, 33, and some can play till they're around 38, 39. So a keeper that's 23 years old that can be moulded into the next best thing in goalkeeping is very important. What I like about Costa is he loves the ball. He's very comfortable in possession. He's very good at moving the ball on. Porto obviously are a possession-based side. That's a big thing with the goalkeepers United need to look at. In his game against Braga, he completed 23 of his 26 long passes overall and made 4 saves, 3 coming from inside the box. A top quality keeper, a lot of potential, but would be rather expensive at 65 million. Next up, Brice Samba, RC Lens goalkeeper. Former Nottingham Forest shot stopper, moved to France to be closer to his family. But he's having the season of his life at Lens as they are doing very, very well in Ligue 1. In terms of the race for winning the title, Lens are just 6 points behind PSG. And a lot of that comes from the possession play out of the back, which of course Samba is part of. But looking at his goalkeeping statistics, very, very good. His save percentage this season is at 79.5%, which puts him in the top 4% of keepers. But also in terms of crosses stopped, he's stopping 8.6% of the crosses into his box, which of course puts him in the top 5% as well. Brice Samba would provide quality at the back, but also that cockiness with the ball at his feet. The only question marks would be, would he want to return to England? But I think Erik Ten Hag's Manchester United would be a perfect place for him to really, evolve himself. Recent game against Monaco in Ligue 1, of course, Lens won. 3 high claims in that match, 4 saves, completed 32 passes as Lens really controlled the tempo. Right, sticking with French goalkeepers, Mike Maignan is probably the best keeper on the planet right now. His performances in this season's Champions League is a big reason why AC Milan have done so well. His performances against Napoli across the 2 legs was absolutely brilliant. One of the best goalkeeper performances I can remember in recent memory. He made 8 saves over the 2 legs and saved a penalty, which was a massive, massive moment for Milan in that second leg as they went on to win the game. He's a keeper that would just provide a lot of quality. Saving-wise, I think probably is his biggest strength. I'd say he's a world-class shot stopper, but he's also a brilliant distributor of the football. In a recent game in Serie A, grabbed an assist against Lazio with a ball to Theo Hernandez. He's a keeper that just commands, that's on the ball. And I think one of the biggest things is he's a keeper that has great quality. Won the league with Lille in France, won the league with AC Milan in Serie A, both his first seasons playing for those 2 clubs, and would just instantly provide a humongous upgrade for Man United. The issue with Maignan is that his cost would be very, very high. AC Milan don't want to get rid of him. So he's a keeper that United would have to spend a lot of money, could be upward of 50, 60, 70, 80 million pounds. If money wasn't an option, he would be the number 1 choice, but Man United have got to think about the finances this summer. Right, on to number 6, we've got an Erik Ten Hag ready replacement in Andre Onana. Onana played under Ten Hag at Ajax. Of course, the Champions League run where they got to the semi-finals. Onana was brilliant in that tournament. He's a player that missed quite a bit of last season with a drugs ban, but coming back into form, especially in the Champions League and in Serie A in the last few months, is showing his kind of potential. The performance against Porto in the Champions League, 6 saves in that match, a brilliant display, a great shot stopper on his line, but the biggest reason why he's good for Erik Ten Hag's systems is ability on the ball. I'd say probably one of the best ball-playing goalkeepers in the world of football on his day, but also a great sweeper off the line. 2 big things that United lack. Andre Onana is an extra outfielder. That is his level. And I think it wouldn't take any time to adapt, would be reasonably cheap, around 40 million euros for a keeper of his standards with his quality. But it's interesting that United could have signed him on a free transfer. But hey, interesting that we're going back to France and Liga again. This time, Yvan Diouf. A lot's been made of Will Still's Stade Reims team in France and how they've massively, massively gone over expectations. And one of the reasons why they're doing that is Diouf in goal. He ranks in the top 1% of players for post-shot expected goals this season, saving Rennes an extra 0.32 XG per 90. Absolute exceptional. His save percentage, 81.6%. Again, in the top 1% of goalkeepers in Europe's top 5 leagues. And also in the top 3% in terms of crosses stopped at a whopping 9.4%. He's also a keeper that can play with the ball at his feet. Recent game against Lens in Liga, absolutely fantastic. He's a player that's calm, that can spot the passes, that likes to play into midfield, into attacking midfield, the wide switches. He's a keeper of great quality. And I think one of the big reasons why Man United should look at him is a keeper on the up. You'd say that Maignan is probably at his peak right now at AC Milan, but he had quality in Liga at around 23. Getting Diouf now could have a similar trajectory to Maignan in terms of the growth and his development. A great shot stopper, great cross claimer, brilliant with the ball at his feet, the perfect goalkeeper for Erik Ten Hag to mould into what he wants. And at 23, that's at least 10, 15 years left of his career. Right, let's blast through the last few options for Manchester United. Justin Bijlow at Feyenoord. Feyenoord play great football under Arne Slot. They've got to play out from the backs, and the goalkeeper has got to be adept on the ball. Aggressive and a powerful goalkeeper that doesn't have issues stopping crosses. He stopped 10% of the crosses that have gone into his box this season. Again, putting himself in the top 10% of goalkeepers. His post-shot expected goals numbers are very, very good as well. And he's a keeper that could really, really work for Man United out of the back, distributing the ball left, right, breaking lanes. In the recent game against NEC Breda in the Eredivisie, he completed 96% of his passes. A lot of football. The one issue you'd say with him, potential knee problems. He's had bad injuries in the past, but he's Dutch, would get on with Erik Ten Hag and would allow United to build from the base. Our last two goalkeepers, we've got one old and one new. 34-year-old Manuel Maignan is a keeper that is brilliant on the ball. He's someone that we've highlighted previously due to his ability. He's got 5 key passes as a goalkeeper this season, which is one of the best records of any keeper in the league. He's averaging over 27 open play accurate passes per game, which is only bettered by Jan Sommer for any keeper that's played over 2,000 minutes. He is the perfect, cocky, confident keeper that will move into midfield and get on the ball. That is his quality. It would be a little bit similar to, kind of what has previously happened under Erik Ten Hag when they bought in, of course, Pasvar at 38 years old just for his ball playing. That's what Manuel Maignan would give Manchester United. On top of that, he's had some good games in between the sticks on the ball, made 9 saves against RB Leipzig, but completed 15 of his 43 long balls. A keeper that's very good at hitting that target man, similar to David Raya, but also has the ability, you're basically playing in between 2 centre-backs, what United need. So that's the old option. In terms of the young option for Manchester United, a keeper that's emerging in the Belgium League at Anderlecht, Bart van Bergen. He's a keeper that really could take his game to the next level. At 20 years old, he's got every part that you need in a young goalkeeper. The ability to play out from the back, the passing range, the technique in terms of hitting those passes. He averages 26 accurate open play passes with his feet this season, which is more than any other player under the age of 28 in Europe. I think he's a keeper that has massive, massive potential, but should be bought alongside an older goalkeeper. The last 2 options could be really good for United. So to round things off, my top 3 choices for Manchester United. At number 3, I think Andre Onana would come in and instantly improve Manchester United out of the back. Erik Ten Hag's system got that locked in. In terms of the option, if United wanted to spend the cash, as we mentioned before, Maignan would be instantly recognisable in the Manchester United goal. His shot stopping, his quality, his commanding presence would be a massive upgrade. But I think in terms of the long-term development of the football club, United have got to start to make better signings. And at 23 years old, Diouf from Stade Reims, I think, has got a lot of quality to be one of the best keepers in the world. Signing a player on the up is where Man United need to go in terms of balancing their books, planning for the future, and I don't think you'd be, spending too much cash on him in comparison to a Maignan. And Yvan Diouf is a star in the making. But anyway, guys, there's been 10 goalkeepers that Manchester United could sign. There's an easily list of 20 goalkeepers that you could simply put together. You're looking at Pasvar, Kobel, Sanchez, Lafont, Bauman, Milinkovic-Savic. This is an easy game for United. They just need to sort it out. Getting 2 goalkeepers, I think, is what United need to do to really grow the football club. One young, one potential, and one maybe older keeper to play in the League Cup like Manchester City do. There's a lot of work to be done with the United squad. It needs to start now. But guys, that's been the Premier League review today, part 1. Tomorrow, part 2, will all be around Declan Rice and where he should move to in the summer. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you later.